Everyone, are we live? I'd like to call the meeting of the Town Council to order, and I would like to have you all rise as Troop 183 presents the colors.
Audience, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm really thrilled that we're finally returning to our in-person scouts and inaugural group, Troop 183, Assistant Scoutmaster George Krawitz, Assistant Scoutmaster Chris Laban, and the scouts in attendance, Aaron Cieslak, Juan Morales, Nicholas Laban, Ian Krawzak, Reed Krawzak, and Alex Hamilton. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You're now in the record. Oh, our dog doesn't like barking.
What's his name?
Color guard, reform.
Give this to,
Color guard, forward, march.
He's so cute.
you may be seated.
Thank you.
That was very nice.
Was that Eddie? Was that Eddie? He's so cute.
May we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Paul,
Here.
Vice Mayor Whitman,
Here.
Councilmember Hatton,
Here.
Councilmember Starkey,
Here.
Councilmember Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Lamack, Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Holste, Mr. Weinthal.
Here.
Chair, Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. May I mention that Mr. Lamack is with us via telephone. Before I go into public comments, I would just like to take a few moments to bow our heads in prayer for the passing of Mayor Trost from Lighthouse Point and Gary Lockhart, who is a retired Davie employee. He ran the garage, the fleet, and a very speedy recovery to our dear Sam Morgan, who must have had angels on his shoulders, survived a very serious crash. Thank you. And a special prayer for all of those people suffering in the Ukraine and all the refugees who have had to leave their homes. God bless them. And it's just so wonderful to hear of a family in Cooper City that took in a family from the Ukraine, a man, a wife, and several children. So the kindness and the goodness, and even in our neighborhoods, are going out to the people of Ukraine, and we want to thank everybody for that. We start the meeting with public comments. The first part of the first meeting of the month is open to individuals who would like to speak on just about anything they want, within reason, of course. So they have 3 minutes to come up and to address the council. And the only thing they cannot do is speak on anything that's on the agenda as a public hearing. And let me remind you that if there's anyone here that is going to speak on a pending development, in addition to your speaking, I would recommend that you send a letter to myself and the council, which will then go to our Planning and Development Board, and then it will become public record and be part of the backup when that comes to the council. Okay, is there anyone that wishes to speak? I know, I see. Come on. Come on up. Just give your name and address, and then I've got a little something to talk to you about, too.
Hi, Mayor, council members. Thanks for my 3 minutes of free speech. Okay. I got to say, I'm not a lobbyist, I'm not a developer, I'm not a realtor. By the way, I'm from Davie's Last Frontier. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a venture capitalist, I'm not a deep-pocketed investor. This is close to 20 years I'm trying to get these horse crossing signs on Davie Road. We have a farm now across from our barn, whose kids come over for lessons. Husband and the wife got to get on Davie Road like this and stop traffic. You know, I'm almost ready to ask Elon Musk if he bore a tunnel underneath. You know, I tried to get a hold of FDOT. They say talk to the town council. So, last time I spoke with the engineer, his question was, where's the horse path here? And then I came back and I found out that 12 to 15 feet from the edge of the sidewalk is FP&L. So in case they have to fix the lines, they got to be able to bring the trucks in. That's basically where the trail is now, going up Davie Road to 49th. So I know the lady at the other ranch, she was going to come also and speak to you guys, and I don't. It behooves me how hard it is to get these horse crossing signs up in Davie.
Well, could I give you a little answer?
Yeah, I'm finished.
It's as frustrating to me as it is to you. I always tell everybody I'm still fighting City Hall, and I am City Hall, or Town Hall. But we've been working on something. I've spoken with Chelsea at Miranda Farms, and we know that FP&L easement could be a pending trail, and should be, because a lot of the easements were. We just have to work it out with the nurseries that now work those properties. Plus, we need to build a little bridge across there's a little canal there. And we're already working on trying to fix that. Unfortunately, and I know the engineer is as frustrated as I am, because this is all part of the whole Davie Trail system. And right now, we're working on that trail master plan, and you better believe me, there's going to be a whole section in there about that, and to make sure it gets done, and it gets done as quickly as possible. I just want that connection so that you can get across the road, get to Miranda Ranch, get onto the FP&L easement, and ride safely to Wolf Lake. That is our plan, and I'm sorry it's taking so long. Unfortunately, it's not an FDOT road, it's a Broward County road, and they're the ones that we have to deal with.
All right, 30 more seconds, sorry.
That's all right, I took your time, so you can have more.
The trail that runs from Frontier north to Southwest 49th, where one of the crossing is now before you build a bridge, the only way to get up to the trails on Orange, to come around the old Davie School. The bridge still hasn't been fixed, so
Working on it.
It's 3 years, you know. I know it's tough, but we can make it a lot easier with these horse crossing signs. I'm not trying to spend a lot of money, but the ones that light up when you push the button with LED lights would be great. I mean, again, the only thing positive that's happening is the universities and colleges seems to be losing a lot of students. When you can get a truck driver's job for $60 an hour, who basically has to go to college almost anymore? So that's the only advantage that's the only positive thing that I think that I'm seeing lately. All right, thank you for my 3 minutes.
Thank you, and I feel for you.
I know
we're
you
trying.
do.
We're trying.
Oh, thank you for running again for re-election, or I need another T-shirt because I used the one you gave me to polish the horse. I want
Well,
you to-
that's perfectly all right. That's good use of my T-shirt.
You guys are invited to the ranch any Saturday, 10 to 5. I'll show you where the signs need to be. I can't do
We
it.
appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks again, guys. All right.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hi, everybody. My name is Donna DeMarco. I need my address, you said?
Yes, please.
14230 Southwest 17th Street, Davie. So I don't know if you remember, but I was back here speaking to you September 2021, and I was extremely a concerned parent because I have a new Western High School freshman, and my concern is that we live less than 2 miles, so he's a walker, and he had to walk from the school all the way to about 145th to cross Southwest 14th Street to get to our home. And there was no crosswalk, no crossing guard, and no other safety method. When he had to cross over, the speed limit's 40 miles an hour, and I would watch the traffic and just cringe when I saw these huge trucks with like trestles on them and buses just flying by, and the extra traffic with the St. Bonaventure School getting out as well. Very high speeds, very busy road. So I came to you, and I will say that all of you graciously acknowledged my concern, and I think that, and I had response from Mayor Paul that you guys knew it was a concern. It was an issue that kind of existed for a long time. So I'm back here tonight, 7 months later, to tell you guys that I am so sincerely appreciative, and you have my deepest gratitude to every one of you, because just a couple months ago, and I have chills, you guys, I don't know who did it, somebody did it, and they installed. Now, I know it's not a crossing guard, and it's not a slow down, speed zone, but it's yellow flashing lights everywhere along the path where the kids have to cross the road to get to their street to go home. And I watched, I'm not mom, I watched my kid and all the other kids. I'm also an educator, so we care about everybody. And some of the cars, I think they think it's a speed zone, so they do slow down, and some of the other cars are like, there's no speed zone, so keep going. But it's still something to tell them that there's kids crossing, and I think everybody's aware of what's happening. Even the buses, I watch the buses because a lot of them, they have to go, they've got to get their route, and they slow down. There's been a couple of crazy passings and stuff like that, but it totally, I think, if that's what I can get, I'll take it. And I was so impressed at the speed by which you guys got that done. I don't know if it's the finished product. I don't know, I was wondering if you were going to put like a crosswalk, or I don't know what the project is, but for what it is, I want to say that you all listened and acknowledged the safety concern. You took swift action, and I appreciate everything you do for our community and for our children. Those are our future leaders. They're going to be up there probably in some years, and I'm glad that my children specifically got to see how municipal government is effective and how you guys demonstrated a concern for your residents. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I was going to say that it's not exactly what the horse community wants on Davie Road, that would allow traffic to actually stop to let the horses by. But the fact that we were able to get it done gives me a little bit of hope that Mr. Voigt, our engineer, is working very diligently on getting those flashes. So it's just an indication that it can be done. Sometimes we hit snags in the road, but as far as I'm concerned, the horses and the riders are just as important as the children, and every life is a life, and we need to work on that as well. But thank you for your comments, appreciate it. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, come on. You gotta be fast.
I gotta talk fast, too. Hello, Madam Mayor and council members. I am a resident of Davie with a child who is autistic.
Could you give your name and address, please?
My name is Kimberly Jean, and my address is 2971 Southwest 108th Way. I'm a resident with a child who's autistic. My son is 3 years old. I was shocked, and maybe you will be too, to learn that Davie has yet to offer any preschool options for autistic children within town limits. Families with autistic children must bus their special need preschoolers to Pembroke Pines or Fort Lauderdale to receive essential early intervention programs provided by the county. After a long conversation with the Broward County Disability Placement Coordinator, she was also wondering how this could be, and I asked what I could do to change this. She said, well, you could call the school board, but really the town of Davie should get involved and request this. So here I am talking to you all. I would like to preface this by saying I never wanted to be an advocate mom. I never envisioned myself standing up at a meeting requesting people in powerful positions to do more, spend more, or urge them to take action. In the theme of Autism Awareness Month, I would love to make you aware of the following facts. 1 in 44 children are born diagnosed with autism. In the past 20 years, autism rates have jumped 178%, and autism is the fastest growing disability in the United States. The town of Davie has approximately 106,000 residents. If 1 in 44 families are affected by autism, then the math shows that there are more than 2,000 families in Davie affected. While this math problem does not account for many other factors, it does reflect that a town of this size should have at least one classroom for preschool-aged children. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, well, what about private schools or a nanny? This is an expense of over $1,500 a month to receive this care. Currently, every daycare and preschool provider in Davie has a 6-month wait list for special needs children. You may think preschool might not be the right learning environment. Currently, In Bloom Autism Center in Davie has a full capacity of 65 children. There's an additional 35 children on the wait list. This wait list will take 9 months just for families to be evaluated. These are our residents of Davie. I know we can do more for our families in Davie. We have the space, we have the unused areas to provide safe and engaging play areas specifically geared toward a large population of needs. For the children in Davie, I would love to see recreational programs, play equipment, and community events to support families and children here. An autism walk to put on by the town of Davie in April could help raise money and achieve some of these ideas. If it's not within the town's ability to facilitate the implementation of budgetary allocation for these kinds of programs and infrastructure, I believe that the community members would be willing to become involved and make these initiatives happen. I believe the town of Davie can do more and be better. I know that the members of this council are fierce supporters of their community. I hope this sheds a little light on this segment of our community that is often unseen and regularly underfunded. I thank you again for proclamating April Autism Awareness Month and look forward to sparking a conversation on what next April could look like.
Thank you. I'm surprised that the school board told you to contact the town. I mean, this is a school situation as far as programming and recreational programming that we can look at through our recreation department. But it amazes me that something that falls within the purview of the public school system would tell you to come to us. So we will advocate for you, and hopefully you'll be able to get something for you. And I know there's an autism walk. They do it every year at Nova, and we're always very involved in that. So.
Have you seen the playground? Do you know of our playground right over here that's special needs?
I'm a park ranger for the town of Davie.
Oh, I didn't know. Well,
Yes.
I've never met you, so I
Yes,
didn't know.
I
but-
do. I do, and it's lovely.
So you've already spoken for your proclamation. So.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public portion of the meeting, and we'll go to our presentations. We have a fine array of elected officials with us today, and I'll turn the meeting over to Leona. Where's my list? I was going to introduce everybody. I see Senator Book is here. There she is. Okay. And to say this, wow, she just became a Davie resident. And that masked lady over there, Robin Bartleman, Representative Bartleman. Go ahead, Leona. Who did I miss? Lauren from Eric's, one of our lobbyists, I think.
And we have Mr. Ron Book in
I
the
saw
back
Ron
as well,
Book come
Mayor.
in, yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Town Council Administrators, Leona Henry, Intergovernmental Affairs Manager. This evening, we have some dignitaries in the House with us today who are joining us. They are our state representatives who represent and speak on the town's behalf at the state level. Just to reiterate what you said, Mayor Paul, we have with us Senator Lauren Book, Representative Robin Bartleman. We have our town's lobbyist, Mr. Ron Book, as well as Lauren Jackson. And so what I'll do is I'll invite each person to come on up and just to give an overview and a brief update on the past legislative session, as well as some plans, maybe some things that we're doing for the future. So with no further ado, I'll invite Senator Book up.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi. I am so excited to be here. This is my favorite place to be. And I actually brought somebody with me today. And I'm going to give my address, 226 Vista Verde Road, your newest resident. Very excited to be here talking to you about a very difficult legislative session, but one I was very proud to lead our Democratic caucus in a really tough legislative session. But I know we're going to talk a little bit about home rule. We're going to talk a little bit about the budget and some of the things that we were able to get done for the town of Davie that we're really proud of. Our job every legislative session is to pass a budget in time, 60 days. That's the job. Normally, we can get that done. This year, we had two jobs, not just to pass the budget, but to pass fair districts and fair maps in a redistricting year every 10 years. We weren't able to do that on time either. So we did come back in an extended session. We were able to pass maps. As you may have heard, we're going to be back for a special session on congressional maps because the governor, in his infinite wisdom, decided to veto them. And so we'll go back to work on some congressional maps. It was a session that we were fighting a lot of culture wars instead of taking care of and worrying about the things that are important to everyday Floridians. Well, everyday Floridians, woo, did you get an award? A gymnast. Give her a round of applause because clearly there's a medal there. We were fighting culture wars instead of taking care of everyday Floridians and their needs. Everyday Floridians are worried about how are they going to put food on the table, put gas in the car, pay rent, even if they can find affordable housing. And we were busy fighting about what you can and cannot say in a classroom, banning a woman's right to choose, cruel and unusual punishments, in not allowing for an exemption for rape and incest, which all of you know is very important to me, and many other things, instead of focusing on the things that are important. But you had an incredible caucus, the Democratic caucus in the Senate and in the House, fighting for home rule and making sure that we were doing all that we could so that you have the control. And you're going to hear a little bit from a colleague of mine in the Senate who, in redistricting will be spending a little bit more time here than he has in the past, but in fighting to make sure that you all are closest to the people. There's a bullseye approach that we take at the Democratic caucus, and you guys are the ones who should be making decisions for your communities. As you hear about the issues relating to buses, children who have autism and need services, or a path for horses in your community, you guys are closest to the people and should be making those decisions. Unfortunately, Senate Bill 620 by Travis Hudson was a preemption bill that would allow local businesses to sue a local government for enforcing any ordinance that causes the business to lose money. This will create many frivolous and unnecessary lawsuits against local governments trying to make decisions that are best, again, for the city and the county. That's one I'm sure that you're going to hear a little bit about. But again, I'm here to also talk about the fact that we were able to get some things done that are wonderful for the town of Davie. Little Country Estates appropriation, which is $250,000 appropriation. We were very happy to work to make that happen. After the flooding during Tropical Storm Ida, there was a clear need to continue the hard work to build up resilience and extreme weather events that inundate South Florida. We were able to ensure that that project represents and will do the work that needs to be done in Davie to make sure that our constituents have roadways that are safe during storms and not flooding. And so that is a wonderful thing. I will also talk a little bit about the fact that with redistricting, unfortunately, some of the maps have moved a little bit, and so you're going to see some different faces around. I still do represent Davie, and again, very proud to now be a resident of Davie. But hopefully, with some of the maps and the shifting and the moving, I wanted to also bring with me a member of the Florida Senate Democratic Caucus, Senator Pizzo, who will hopefully be representing the other portion of Davie. You'll be very well represented, and wanted to give him an opportunity just to give a little shake of the legislative session and introduce him. And I told him he needed to go to Griff's to get a pair of cowboy boots. He clearly did not do that, and wearing a suit, I'm not sure that you can measure up here in Davie, but we'll give him a shot, Madam Mayor. Let's see how he does.
Stay with me. So to all of you, she's your Senator Book that's accessible and that you know, but I just want to take this opportunity. Senator Book is actually Leader Book. So she's the boss. She is the leader of the upper chambers Democratic Caucus in the third largest state in the country. This is a very incredibly high profile position, and yet this, I'll say young woman because I got you by a number of years, managed to stand by me almost every single day as the building and surf site collapsed in my district, to comfort families, to help with funeral arrangements, the releases of bodies, talking with kids, because she had done it obviously at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. So she's my boss, and she made me policy director, which means I had to read all 2,836 bills, and I'm not kidding. And so we will share side by side for your District 35 abutting, God willing, my 37, which basically bifurcates at the Turnpike. And Mayor Paul, this was the event this week on the calendar, our first first week back, that my aide Kayla, who started with us as a 19-year-old intern at FSU and a political science major, was most excited to attend because she is a Davie resident and is now our aide. Kayla, would you please stand up so everyone can feel short? And she lives right down the street, so she's pulling for this as well. We run a different type of operation. We got together with Senator Book and a few others. We run a different type of constituent outreach. So between our offices, the Tampa Bay Times said that we had the largest constituent outreach in Florida history, when we helped, I think, upwards of 50,000 people with unemployment, food and housing insecurity. And we're admittedly and candidly reasonable. We're not extreme about anything. We don't take ourselves sometimes too seriously, which is important when we have the frustrations up in Tallahassee. But I'm going to yield to Representative Bartleman and make myself available and accessible. And a rather casual or cursory search shows you how accessible and helpful we try to be. And of course, I think we just found out today that we both are legislative champions for Florida League of Cities for defending home rule. So pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to be the shorter, briefer, more attractive book that will come before you today.
Better than the last comment she made, calling me a dinosaur in a committee.
Hi, so I was at an event yesterday and someone said they had COVID and I wasn't close to them, but I'm nervous, so I'm going to just.
Thank you.
Thank you for respecting us. Oh, I will, but I'm going to take this off a little bit so you can hear it. I tested negative today on a rapid, but if you're exposed, you should be careful. So I just want to thank each and every one of you. I want to say to the residents of Davie how lucky you are to have this town council. They're always out in the community. They're always advocating. And I can't say enough about Rick Lamack and Leona. And I need to say that out loud because I am local administration and Veterans Affairs. And when I get a bill late at night or there's a question, they answer me at 6 o'clock in the morning. And every single one of you took my calls regarding the home rule bill, which did pass. So if it impacts the business at a certain percentage, you know that they can litigate. The rule is, the ordinance is stayed, so you can't even enact it until that litigation is resolved. And the League of Cities worked really hard to change some things, but clearly not enough. And between the three of us, we're all about home rule. You know what's best for your community. So another good news for you all, you can prohibit smoking now in parks once that bill is signed into legislation. That is a choice that was not given to you before.
We've been doing that for years.
So,
2002, we had our own ordinance.
well, I love it. And I did work on the fireworks thing, but that did not happen this year. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about for your town council manager, Lamac is that there are new cybersecurity rules that you have to really pay attention to. And so there are two bills. Hopefully, it looks like they have them, they know about them, because that will impact your city. So to go over a couple of bills this year that were near and dear to my heart, I just found out that House Bill 855, my managed care performance plan, just got signed by the governor today. So I'm really excited about that. During COVID, we saw a lot with healthcare disparities, but ACA does not collect data. They don't look at race, ethnicity, age, primary language, or disability. So if you're not collecting that data, you're not identifying where those disparities exist. So Chevron Jones and I sponsored that bill. It's got signed today, so it's very exciting. We'll make sure that tax dollars are spent effectively and efficiently for people in our Medicaid program. Another bill, and I want to thank Ron Book for this. And Ron Book was very, very instrumental in helping me in the House to make this happen. So it's near and dear to him as well. He knows. Mia Marcona was 19 years old. I have a 19-year-old daughter, Sarah. Mia's parents and we dropped our kids off at college. We rented them apartments. No one asks, does the person with the master key have a background check? No one asks how many hours they have to give notice to get into that apartment, or about logs. And Mia was killed by the maintenance worker, and allegedly because he hung himself, and now they keep releasing more details about the murder. And there are 2 million renters in Florida, 2 million. And I venture to say that none of us ask those questions, nor do we have any rights. So what Mia's law does is it requires mandatory background checks for people who have master keys and who access apartments. That's very important. 2 days before my bill passed, a grandmother was raped in Kissimmee by a maintenance worker who had a master key to everyone's apartment. He didn't have to use it to get into hers because she knew who he was. And he was on parole for assault. And this man was entrusted with a master key, and someone's grandmother was raped. Mia lost her life. This bill will not bring Mia back. We know he used the master key at 2 o'clock to get into the apartment to set things up, and at 5 o'clock again to be there when she returned. So I'm hoping that this bill will get signed by the governor. It's a very important bill. There are so many renters in Florida, and again, my heart and appreciation, Ron, thank you so much. I know he's a lobbyist, but when it comes about to children and caring about issues, it's his heart that speaks, you know what I mean? And he really helped me with that. And the most important bill that I spoke to every single one of you about, and thank you for the residents of Davie, they take every single phone call, whatever I need, and whatever you need. You guys are always so receptive, is House Bill 513. So this is important to us because we are impacted by inland flooding. As was pointed out with Tropical Storm Eta, we know that we flood. All of that water goes into the canals. The Central and Southern Florida Flood Control System is 2,600 canals, miles of canals. We have 18 pumps along the South Florida coast. And so what happens when it floods, it drains into the canals, and the canals take that flood water out into the ocean. Those 18 gates are compromised. In 2009, the study was done that said those gates were 6 inches from failure, which means sea level was 6 inches from rising above the gates, so they could not open. Fast forward to 2022, they're now 3 inches. 2 to 3 inches, depending which gate you're looking at. One gate has a pump that runs almost 24 hours to prevent saltwater intrusion into our aquifer. This protects 1/3 of Florida's GOP, 11 million residents, our drinking water, and the Everglades. These gates are owned by the federal government. No one has been acting on them. This is a bipartisan bill with Ana Maria Rodriguez in the Senate. And what we did is created a system of accountability with House Bill 513, where an annual report is given to the governor, given to the speaker. South Florida Water Management District has to give a comprehensive report where what's happening, the deficiencies, the funding gaps. And thanks to Chair Trumbull, House Bill 513 was given $2 million to expedite the study. Because remember, 2035, if you talk to Dr. Gerardo in Broward County, that's when we're going to see this happen. And when one storm, we're not going to be able to get that water out. So they had funded it at a 3x3. Well, we can't wait 3 years for that study. We only have to 2035 to find the problems, design a plan, and then get money from the Army Corps of Engineers. That's scary. So I felt like Chicken Little going around, but you guys actually stood behind me at my press conference. You were there for me, and I appreciate that so much, and this will help every single person who lives in inland Broward County. People just didn't know it was a problem, and now we do, and now we need to act on it. In terms of appropriation projects, most of them were in Southwest Ranches, thanks to Senator Book, who helped me with the Southwest Ranches appropriation projects, and the $2 million for Central and Southern Florida resiliency. And some of the projects will impact you because we have Ivanhoe. And we know that drainage in Southwest Ranches impacts Ivanhoe because of Dykes Road. So that's great. And another project which will help all of us, it is Autism Awareness Month. 1 in 44 children are born on the autism spectrum. As they age out, as their parents age, they need to have independent living facilities. Pembroke Pines is sponsoring a Compass Independent Living Facility, and Lauren Jackson is in the room, and we were able to secure dollars for the infrastructure for that independent living facility that will serve individuals with developmental disabilities from all over Broward County. So I'm very excited about that. So I don't know if you have any questions, but it's an honor to serve the city. It's an honor to serve all of you. Your staff is amazing. Congratulations on Nova Southeastern University. We were all at the jacket naming, and I'm getting my Lysol wipes out as we speak. And everyone in the town knows they can call me. I only represent a little bit of Davie, but I'm here for everyone. 954-668-3662. I love this community. It's been an honor to serve you the last 18 years in both capacities. And just to this commission, council, thank you for everything you do. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, and you've had a tremendous impact. We're watching you very closely. And got all that information, snaps it right out there. Great. That's because you're a teacher.
I know.
Thank you for wiping the podium and the microphone down.
Hi, Ron. How you doing?
Mayor, members of the town council, Ron Book for the record. I don't live in the town of Davie, although I own a property in the town of Davie. And to your newest resident, let me just say a couple things. Number one, it was really good to have a senator. It was really good when once upon a time you had one House member, but now you got 2 House members and 2 senators. And here's what I can tell you, that at the end of the day, our job is to work behind the scenes, and they do all the work. They're the ones that are written into the Constitution. We are not. I can tell you that when we had that big fight a couple of years ago on the division of money, I can simply tell you, and those that were in Tallahassee know, that Senator Pizzo didn't represent the town at that time, and he stood up and he pushed back because he understood what the distribution needed to be and helped make a difference. I can simply say that you don't have 4 members of this delegation, the entire Broward delegation, that stand taller, are more well-respected than Robin, Mike, Lauren, and my good friend Jason Pizzo as well. I also want to say, and I don't know whether Lauren's going to say words, but the relationship between our firm and Candace and Lauren are extraordinarily, they're seamless in representation and in relationship. Ronna Brown, who does a bundle of the work. But I want to echo what Representative Bartleman said. When we pick up the phone, whether we call the manager or we call Leona, the answers and the responses are like that. And that's all we need, and that's all they need. They need to know quickly when there's an amendment running, does it hurt us, doesn't it? Does it, are we supposed to spill blood or aren't we? I also want to tell you that at the end of the day, the question constantly is, where are we on the compact? Well, the compact's tied up in wherever it is litigation land. The tribe continues to make their payments in good faith, in advance, in spite of, I'm not quite sure whether the state's escrowing the money or not. The town has not gotten its latest distributions. In fact, the town hasn't gotten a distribution, House and Senate members, in probably 20 plus months. Not quite sure why the state hasn't sent them their money, but they've got a bunch of money coming to them. and it's unexplainable as to why the town doesn't have it. I can tell you that if they ultimately come back to the process, we will be ready. We're ready to do, it's a whole lot easier to kill than to pass. They got to pass. We simply have to kill now going forward. We're now in the offense. We need the defense, but we're in a place where we can do that. And I'll wrap up by saying to all of you, thank you for the continued opportunity. We are proud to represent this town. We are proud to represent your taxpayers. We are proud to be a part of the community. And I will also say that this is the first time in 6 years that the two of us have been in the same place at the same time in a public presentation. Not any other city, not any other town, not any other county, but here in the town of Davie. Thank you for the continued opportunity.
Thank you very much. Hi, Lauren. How you doing?
Hi, and I just want to echo a lot of what Mr. Book just said, and it's a pleasure working with him, and of course our wonderful delegation members, and we would be absolutely excited to have the additional help from Senator Pizzo as well. So we hope that happens. But our delegation members are absolutely fantastic, and they're very supportive in almost everything that we ask for. They don't even question when there's a home rule issue. They're always there and working very hard for the town. I'm just going to quickly try to run through. I know it's been a long presentation so far, but just in case there's any questions that pop up on anything, I just want to make sure things are briefly mentioned. So I want to start with just a couple of mixed bag bills, and I say mixed bag because they're addressing, I think, what we all recognize as real problems, and they have positive benefits. So they're not necessarily awful bills, but they just might have a little bit of a burden on local governments. So just two of those, and that's cybersecurity, which Representative Bartleman already mentioned. That bill would ban ransomware payments. It would require reporting of ransomware, and it would mandate training and also mandate local governments to update to certain standards by a certain time. But the legislature did appropriate $60 million to training and grants for local governments for that effort. And the idea is it might raise insurance rates for a little bit, but those are expected to come down over time due to the increased safety that would result from it. And then the second mixed bag bill is HJR 1. What this bill would do is it would put on the ballot an additional homestead exemption of $50,000 for critical public workers. And I think we all recognize it definitely addresses a important problem, which is affordable housing. And this would be for classroom teachers, law enforcement officers, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, child welfare workers, I'm sure active duty military and Florida National Guard. And why it's a mixed bag is just because we don't know what the local burden is going to be if that passes. Obviously, it's been a banner year for ad valorem, but moving forward, it would be a permanent exemption. So we don't know what that impact would be. We also don't know how many reside in the town of Davie. So you might employ X number of firefighters, but do they live here? And does Fort Lauderdale's firefighters live here, or does Miami-Dade? So we don't know what the local impact would be. And with that, I'm going to segue into some of the bad news because that brings me to HB 921. This bill has to deal with campaign financing. There was a last-minute floor amendment that was added to this bill that would curtail local government's ability to communicate with voters about issues that are before them on the ballot. Originally, the amendment was very broad, and it would have basically stopped you from being able to communicate at all. What the language does now is it would prohibit any public financing for voter outreach. So you really couldn't initiate voter outreach on issues on the ballot before the voters. You could host a forum, you could respond to an inquiry, you can post information on your website, but regardless of if you're reaching out to voters and you're telling them factual information, regardless if you're advocating or not, which is the current law, that would be prohibited under the language that passed. And we want to thank our delegation members. They immediately went into action on that amendment and tried their best to oppose that. So thank you guys for that as well. So after that, we already touched on SB 620. HB 423, there was a bill that passed a couple years ago that you might recall that required local governments to spend excess building fund fees on training and also on rebating and reducing fees and rates. This just provides a private cause of action where if you don't do that, then then someone who holds a building permit or an association that represents them could come after you for damages if that is the case. I'm sure you're already following the law, so it's not too concerning, but that's just something to be aware of as well. And just in case you have any questions as well. And just to quickly run through the other preemptions that passed, HB 7, individual freedom, which I know Senator Book touched on. There was immigration enforcement, religious institutions, local tax referenda, and real property, which has to do with private parking lots, which I don't think you guys have an issue with that. That pretty much rounds that all up, though. To get to the good news, though, the bills that did not pass, and again, we want to thank our delegation members and Senator Pizzo for their work on this, but sovereign immunity did not pass, vacation rentals did not pass, SB 280, which was linked to SB 620, did not pass. There was preemption of local wage mandates, financial disclosures, outdoor kitchen equipment preemption, towing of vehicles, pet protection, iron and steel and public works projects, and public funds for lobbying by local governments. So those are all the preemptions that did not pass. As you guys know, a lot of our work is dealing with defense when we're up there. So we want to thank everyone for their support on those. The good bills that did pass, and Representative Bartleman already mentioned the smoking in public parks. That was supported by the League. There was also a bill that tightened the tree trimming preemption that passed a couple years ago that was supported by the League. It tried to clean up that language a little bit more. And they worked with the arborists on that language as well. That was SB 518. There was also HB 7049, which gave additional options for publishing legal notices. And Mr. Book can speak even more to the details on that bill. And then also HB 3, which is a recruitment and incentive package for law enforcement officers. It provides financial benefits and incentives for law enforcement officers that locate in the state. There was another resiliency package. PFAS, HB 1475, we supported this bill. It would establish more clarity and certainty with cleanup standards. If the EPA doesn't adopt certain standards for cleaning up PFAS, then by a certain time, then DEP would do that, and the legislature would then have to ratify those standards, and it provides some liability protection. The League helped to work on that bill as well, so we were happy to see that passed. And also the tax package, which I don't think anyone's mentioned yet. I don't know if I heard it, but the tax package has a lot of really great things in it, I guess, this year, including did you mention? I didn't mention it. Yeah. Go ahead. So there's a lot of holidays. I'm just going to quickly, and I'm sorry, I know it's a long presentation, but the back to school holiday is July 25th to August 7th. Disaster preparedness holiday, which is May 28th to June 10th. An Energy Star appliances holiday, which is a year long, starting in July 1st. Freedom Week holiday, July 1st to July 7th. Tools used by skilled trade workers holiday, September 3rd to September 9th. Children's clothing, shoes, and diapers holiday, which we have Senator Book to thank for her advocacy over several years on that, 6 years. And that is a year-long holiday as well. And that's for toddler, like baby to toddler clothes and diapers included in that. So we know that that's going to be very beneficial to families here. There's a children's book holiday, May 14th to August 14th. Impact-resistant windows and doors holiday. Impact-resistant windows and doors holiday. That's July 1st to June 30th. That's a 2-year one. And there's a fuel tax holiday that'll be the month of October, and that'll reduce state portion of fuel taxes for that month, and that's going to be taken from general revenue, or actually it was taken from, I think, the federal dollars that they're going to replace into the State Transportation Trust Fund, so that's made up there. It's not going to impact transportation projects. And then it also, there's permanent exemptions for the World Cup, Formula or Formula One, yeah, Grand Prix and Daytona 500 races. Apologies. I think that really covers it. I don't want to go too much longer. So you guys have my reports. I know that they're really long. If you have any questions, though, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, I thought you said yes. I'm
I
sorry.
said, yeah, I call on you. I just wanted to ask.
thought you
one
said
more thing.
yes. I'm sorry.
I just want to know, are you going to get called back on a special session on insurance?
No?
No, they said,
Not any earlier than October, how about that?
oh, okay, all right, thank you. Excuse me. Yeah. Carol,
I just want to know, does smoking include vaping?
is what?
The smoking bill does include vaping?
Yes,
I-
but not cigars or pipes, right?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Susan, did you want to ask a question?
Most important, but not a question, if I may.
Can you do that in your comments? Because I know you're going to talk about legislative stuff.
No, I'm not, I don't have to, because it's
Oh,
not
okay.
here.
Oh, all right.
That's why I figured I'd get it out of the way.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind.
That's
I
right.
Because they're here, and before they leave, I just have to thank them. I mean, we have an A team that's been working on this stuff for a while. You guys do so much of the heavy lifting that when I go up there, or some of us go up there, it's like easy peasy. You get us into the offices and we talk to, our legislatives, and it's so much easier. You're like, they're already on board for us, and, usually not that difficult. And I just want to thank you for all the hard work. I mean, Robin, we had a casual conversation, and look what happened with that one on Volunteer Road. Went from a casual conversation to she took it and ran, because everybody was being flooded out there with, on Dykes Road. So, I mean, she really took the ball and ran on that, and I can't thank, Lauren and, Senator Book, I can't thank you enough for all you do. I mean, everything, your dad, I mean, truly an A-team. When we were up there, it was kind of fun. I actually had a good time. I mean, it was a little. You're the only one. Man, it was a little challenging, and I mean, we were having to fight with a neighbor friend that, was in for the same pot of money for our, Seminole Compact money. And I tried to do it with a little kindness and a little bit of a hysterical flair that, sometimes I have. And it was funny because Leona was up there with us too, with the chiefs and the police and fire chiefs, and they're saying like, okay, settle down. But you guys are such a great team. And Lauren, your group has always, for a number of years, I've worked with you all and just been great. And Senator Pizzio, I look so forward to working with you as part of our representatives now, and welcome to the town.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you again. This was absolutely fantastic report. I bet you nobody else gets something that thorough. That is really wonderful. And there was a question there, if that individual would like to speak to one of the representatives, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer your question.
Yes, she did.
Okay. It's hard to follow, isn't it? And we're going to go into the approval of the consent agenda. I'm going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Vice Mayor, do you want to pull anything? Marla?
No, Mayor, I'm good, thank you.
Carol, do you
No.
need?
No, ma'am.
Susan?
No, everything's been answered.
Good, thank you. Okay, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Motion to, I was going to go through the whole thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Marlon?
I'll just
And you second it,
Yes,
Carol
ma'am.
second. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, we're going to start off with I'm going to do 1 and 2 together. These are the National Crime Victims Week. Judy Nesbeth and Detective Mathias are here to accept. And Sexual Assault Awareness Month, the same individuals will be accepting. I'm going to have Susan read both of them. Can we do it that way together? Can I have a motion to approve 1 and 2?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. The first one
The
is
first one is
national crime.
national crime.
Right.
Whereas Americans are victims of more than 20 million crimes each year affecting individuals and communities. And whereas providing victims with knowledge of their rights and available services further strengthens their ability to recover by restoring a sense of self-empowerment. And whereas a trauma-informed response to victims promotes healing and fosters strength in survivors. And whereas unaddressed trauma from victimization weakens the resilience of victims and their communities, impeding their ability to,
Speaking to
oh,
my, they asked you to
I'm
speak into
sorry,
it. That's all right.
impeding their, is it, can you hear me now?
Didn't sound like
Yes?
it's on. There you
Better?
go. Now it's better.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Where was I?
Impeding.
Impeding their ability to withstand further trauma. And whereas victims who feel understood and supported are more likely to disclose their victimizations and seek services and participate in justice process. Whereas multidisciplinary response involving collaboration among victim services professionals, criminal justice officials, legal professionals, medical and mental health providers, community leaders is essential to reach and serve all victims, especially those who are marginalized, have disabilities, or live in remote locations. And whereas strengthening the multidisciplinary response brings diverse skills, perspectives, and understanding together in the service of victims, also serves to build the resilience of those responders by strengthening the confidence in their roles and abilities and sense of contribution. Whereas National Crime Victims Week, April 24th through the 30th of 2022, provides an opportunity to recommit and ensures that all victims of crimes, especially those who are challenging to reach or serve, are afforded their rights and receive a trauma-informed response. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Town Council proclaim National Crimes Victim Week of April 24th through the 30th of 2022. Thank you. Okay, the same? Okay, thank you. Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month calls the attention to the fact that sexual violence is a widespread and impacts every person. And whereas the goal of SAAM is to raise awareness and about sexual violence and educate communities of how to prevent it. Whereas rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment harm our community, and the statistics show that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 7 men will be raped at some point in their lives. Whereas child sexual abuse prevention must be a priority to confront the reality that 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls will experience sexual assault before the age of 18. 13% of all students experience rape or sexual assault through physical force or violence. Whereas the theme for this year's Sexual Assault Awareness Month campaign is building safe online spaces together. Sexual harassment, assault, and abuse can happen anywhere, including online spaces. And whereas we can learn how to practice digital consent, intervene when we see harmful content and behaviors, and ensure that online spaces such as workspaces, classrooms, social media platforms, or otherwise are respected and safe. Whereas individuals can embrace their voices to show their support for survivors, stand up to victims blaming, shut down rape jokes, correct harmful misconceptions, promote everyday consent, and practice healthy communication with kids. Whereas the town of Davie advocates with communities across the county to take action to prevent sexual violence. April is a Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and each day of the year is an opportunity to create change for the future. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Town Council of the town of Davie proclaim the month of April 2022 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Thank you. Ms. Nesbitt, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Town Administration, and also our Chief of Police. I never presented a presentation when you did the proclamations, but since we had some names, thank you, Ross. Since we have some names that are going to be added on to the wall, the Garden of Reflection out at Long Key Nature Center, and also Broward Victims' Rights Coalition wanted me to extend their thanks to Mayor Paul, who has always graciously been there for us when we called, and even if she couldn't make it, we knew that we had the support of council as well. So I'm just going to share some information as to victims' rights. The Garden of Reflection, we, in recognition of National Crimes Victims' Rights Week, we have 5 names that are going on the wall. 2 of them are Davie's crime victims, and 3 of them are from other cities. We have Ashley Monique Davis, that's from Miramar. Carolyn J. Mowdy, Davie. We had, that's from our 1975 cold case, where they were able to identify the remains, the mom. And we were able to have the next of kin come down. She met with the investigators, the chief, you know, some other individuals at the police department. They did a press release. It's a cold case, but it's still active. But we were able to make, you know, some progress with that. Hannah Gonzalez is from Sunrise. Emma Lena Kelso, that's also from a victim from here in Davie. It's been 5 years. The family is still dealing, you know, with that trauma and that grief as well. We have Justin Lydale, that's from Coconut Creek. What's so special about Garden of Reflections, with the cooperation and the collaboration from the town of Davie and also with Broward Community Commissioners, they were able to donate that land that's in there that used to be the old kapok tree. And Broward, I think Leadership Broward adopted the program. They went forward with it. So now what they did was made this wall. I'm pretty sure you guys can see it up there. And where those rocks are down, where the dove is, they're thinking of actually having some rocks. If we don't put the names on the wall for other individuals, which we have one that I'll explain to you, they want to put some sayings, some sentimental sayings that's on there. We even talked about maybe having it, the paint illuminate. We have to be very careful with what goes into the garden because it's very pristine. It can't have anything toxic or whatever. That's why it's all marbled or concrete. So when it ages through that natural process. So we were very, very happy with that process with Broward Victims' Rights Coalition working with the town of Davie and with Broward County with their commissioners as well. The agency dedications from Plantation, theirs is going to be new this year. They're saying on the wall it's going to be the Plantation Police Department honors the survivors of crime and the victims who have lost their lives due to violence. They will never be forgotten. May their families in justice and healing. And with Davie, we already had Davie's up there, and when I started thinking about National Crime Victims' Rights, I never came here to share this information with you, so we already have our agency dedication that's out there, but I wanted to share it with you. In remembrance of fallen crime victims who lost their lives through violence, we stand here with their survivors so the memories are never silenced. Forevermore, Town of Davie. And like I said, Mayor, you've read, you know, you've done the opening or anything with that proclamation out there, so standing forever with, you know, the survivors and the families, it's really impactful to them. Wilton Manors, they had a victim advocate. He didn't start out as a victim advocate. He started out with crime analysis, but Alberto was just a beacon of light, you know, always with the community, helping and so forth, and we lost him, and that's where they're thinking about having those rocks, making a dedication, you know, to him, even though his life was lost not through violence, but because we want to have a dedication for him in memory of all the things that he did within his community, very, very impactful, you know, always with Broward Victims' Rights Coalition. He did the social media. Whenever you asked him anything, he was just there, you know. And it was very, very sad for him. And Broward Victims' Rights Coalition also wanted to do a dedication for Michael Satz, who has been the state attorney from 1976 to 2020, and he stood behind crime victims, and now he's no longer the state attorney. We have Mr. Pryor that's there, but everything just kind of got pushed back because of the pandemic. So I just wanted to share this information with you as well. I know we have Denim Day that's coming up April 26th. It's actually the national day is 27, but with Nancy J. Cotterman Center, they do all of our sexual assaults. They offer free counseling. They have leveled clinicians. They work with the state attorneys. They work with CPS. They work with CPT. Do all those things. That's a lot of things that Detective Madias, he does too, and using our therapy dog when he does have those type of cases as well. With Denim Day, it started out back in 1992, a young 18-year-old girl who was just going for her first driving lessons. Her driving instructor, 45 years old, drives to an isolated place, forcibly rapes her, threatens her with violence, tells her, hey, you're not to say anything, because if you do, which is common, more harm, more threat will come. She mustered up enough she mustered up enough courage, and she told her mom and dad. He was subsequently arrested, and while he was serving his tenure in jail, he ended up filing an appeal. Well, the courts came back and said because her jeans were too tight that they overturned the conviction, and he was released, and then that sparked this national campaign on Denim Day. So April 27th is the national day, but banning with Nancy J. Cotterman Center, they are honoring it on the 26th. They're going to have a walk, some other things that are going to be taking place. So just felt that, hey, share this information, with you, because consent is always a real big concern. Sometimes, a woman is, maybe judged for what she wears. I know we have a dress code policy, and we always want to be careful, but the burden is really put on the woman. And sometimes they may say that because the woman can hold so much weight in that she has the life or the future of the other party in her hands. But this just sparked it. There was the executive director in California. Picked it up, and then that's where Peace Over Violence from her, her organization, and it just took off. The grassroots just kept going. So now it's like national. So when people say Denim Day, they're really referring to this, using it as a campaign for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And I believe that's it. I want to thank each and every one of you. I'm, happy that I was granted this opportunity, just to come and present. And next year, if we have, I don't know if we're gonna have it in person. The vigil will be virtual. It's on the 26th. They will live stream it. And I'll make sure that I send information down to Grace or Jillian or Leona if you want to tune in on it. But those are the names that we have on the wall. And it's really a nice place to provide, to give someone comfort, solace, it's tranquility. And sometimes when you see the names that's on there, it just reminds me, if you rub your hand across it, it's just the life is still there. They're not here, but in spirit, they're still, with us.
Thank you very much. Very heartwarming presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to take some pictures, and then we'll move on while you're doing that.
You want me to open these both?
To 3, which is the Child Abuse Prevention Month, and Vice Mayor Whitman will be reading that, and accepting will be Megan Turetsky, who's our Government Affairs Manager.
At Children's Services Council,
What?
yes. At Children's Services Council, yes.
Yes. And I would like to first ask for a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you, Michelle.
Whereas Florida is committed to protecting the most vulnerable population, which is our children, and empowering them to reach their full potential and lead healthy lives. And whereas Florida's future prosperity depends on nurturing the healthy development of its children, growing and learning within our many diverse communities. And whereas research shows that safe and nurturing relationships and stimulating and stable environments improve brain development and the well-being of children, while negligible or abuse experiences in unstable or stressful environments increase the odds of poor childhood outcomes. And whereas the abuse and neglect of children can cause severe, costly, lifelong problems affecting all of society, including physical and mental health problems, school failure, and criminal behavior. And whereas every person should make children a top priority and take meaningful action to support children and families in their communities. And whereas research also shows that parents and caregivers who have social networks and know how to seek help in times of trouble are more resilient and better able to provide safe environments and nurturing experiences for the children. And whereas individuals, businesses, schools, and faith-based communities, organizations must make children a top priority and take action to support the physical, social, emotional, and educational development and competency of all children. And whereas Child Abuse Prevention Month is an important opportunity to urge all Floridians to engage in activities that strengthen families and communities and that provide the optimal environment for healthy child development. Now therefore it be proclaimed that the mayor and the town council of the town of Davie do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Thank you very much. You'd like to say a few words?
Sure. Yes. I just want to say on behalf of the Children's Services Council of Broward County, I want to thank the town of Davie for its commitment to the prevention of child abuse. As we all know, the prevention and early detection of child abuse is crucial to ensuring children are able to live up to their potential and to enabling them to become healthy and productive adults. So thank you for your commitment to that.
Thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay, the next proclamation is Jazz Appreciation Month. Noshelle Hastings from the Davie Jazz Society is here to accept it. May I have a motion to approve? So moved. Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. Whereas Jazz Appreciation Month is celebrated every April in the United States in recognition of the significant contribution that jazz music has made to society. And whereas the Davie Jazz Society is a community volunteer group whose goal is to raise awareness of the impact music and arts offers to those with special needs, learning disabilities, mental health challenges, and drug addiction. And whereas the town of Davie has received letters from the Herbie Hancock Institute of Jazz acknowledging our continued support of International Jazz Day. And whereas Jazz Appreciation Month was declared by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization in 2011 to highlight jazz and its diplomatic role of uniting people from all over the world. Whereas Jazz Appreciation Month brings together communities, schools, artists, historians, academic and jazz enthusiasts all over the world to celebrate and learn about jazz and its roots, raise awareness of the need for intercultural dialogue and mutual understanding, and reinforce international cooperation and communication. And whereas International Jazz Day is the culmination of Jazz Appreciation Month, which draws public attention to jazz and its extraordinary heritage throughout April. The 2022 theme of World Day for Safety and Health at Work calls on participants to pursue meaningful opportunities for dialogue in order to make the world a better place. And whereas each year on April 30th, this international art form is recognized for promoting peace, dialogue among cultures, diversity, and respect for human rights and human dignity. eradicating discrimination, promoting freedom of expression, fostering gender equality, and reinforcing the role of youth in enacting social change. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the mayor and the town council of the town of Davie do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Jazz Appreciation Month. Yay. Did we vote on this? No, Shell, my love.
Yes, Madam
Yes.
Mayor, how are you?
You
Good evening, everyone. As Mayor Judy said, my name is Nichelle Hastings, and in addition to running the Davie Jazz Society, professionally, I am a professional business developer and construction contract administrator in the engineering and architectural world. As such, I am pleased to share with Senator Rizzo and others that the town of Davie was well represented during the Surfside tragedy. From the immediate day after until the last truck and first responders departed the site, we were boots on the ground. Additionally, Mrs. Sinisha Kohler, professional engineer of the Falcon Group, relentlessly was in the media for educational purposes and to bring calm to the residents not only of Surfside, but for other condo and HOA communities. In calming their fears and answering their questions, we almost answered emails 24 hours a day.
Stay in the mic so we can hear you.
We also produced a video of the same that I would love to share with you at a later time. Finally, tonight I'm asking every leader represented here tonight and resident if you would please purchase a ticket to attend our Davie Jazz Society Trilogy on Thursday, April 28th at 6 p.m. at Long Key Nature Center. We are, as Madam Mayor said, endorsed by the Herbie Hancock Institute. Our society is revered for our music and mentoring programs and have been blessed with our own documentary with PBS. For our success in helping and raising school reading averages and third graders, and particularly passing the FCAT, and not repeating the third grade, which is one of the metrics used to determine future prison population. Again, my name is Nichelle Hastings, and it is my privilege to bring jazz awareness to our town and represent internationally to over 190 nations. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and to the council.
Thank you very much, Nichelle. Also a Davie resident, and it was amazing to me how the Davie Jazz Society, during the pandemic and also the Surfside, showed up with musicians and singers to help lift spirits at hospitals. And it was just amazing how much they did and how much jazz took a major part in a lot of those things. And I know Noshelle wanted to personally give her thanks.
Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to go on to number 5, which is National Arab American Heritage Month. Carol Hatton will be reading it, and Miss Asmoa Aloni will accept. Is she here? Yeah, I'm here. Oh, okay. And may I have a motion to approve? Whoa, sorry. Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Proclamation, excuse me. Whereas for over a century, Arab Americans have been making valuable contributions to many aspects of American society, including in medicine, law, business, education, technology, government, military service, and culture. And whereas since migrating to America, men and women of Arab descent have shared their rich culture, values, and traditions with neighbors and friends, while also setting examples of model citizens and public servants. And whereas Arab Americans have also enriched our society by sharing in the entrepreneurial American spirit that makes our nation free and prosperous. And whereas they join all Americans in the desire to see a peaceful and diverse society where every individual is treated equally and feels safe. And whereas diversity is one of our greatest strengths, and it is essential that we continue celebrating, promoting, and educating others of the contributions and the heritage of Arab Americans which have helped us build a better nation. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the town council of the town of Davie do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as National Arab American Heritage Month in the town of Davie and encourage all citizens to join in this special observation. In witness whereof, Judy Paul.
Thank you very much. Would you like to?
I would like to say something, if
Yes.
possible. So, Madam the Mayor and Council, that's my first time here, so excuse me if I say something wrong. So I live in Shenandoah, Davie, and actually I just became American like last month, so I'm very happy. So
Congratulations.
I'm officially an Arab American. But in the meanwhile, my kids are the co-founder of the Arabic Club at American Heritage, and last year you gave them a proclamation because they sent 3 containers to Lebanon after the explosion. They have impacted so many families, which is like over 15,000 families. They did raise over $65,000. They collected over 6,000 pair of shoes, make $10,000 of money. That's what they do. And they raised money for a school. They sent backpacks, school uniforms. They also helped the clinic with oxygen machine and everything. So I think as Arab American, they did like a very nice community. And then in the school, they have over 50 members within less than a year. And it's very it's from all over the world. And they even send for the holiday, a container, many pallets of toys to Honduras, and they helped with Haiti. So as Arab American, I'm very proud of them. They're not here. My daughter is in ballet and my son is in jiu-jitsu, so I'm coming on their behalf to take it. But thank you very much, and I'm sure as Davie resident and all the Arab residents of Davie, we're very proud of this, and thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. We have become one of the most diverse communities in Broward County, and we embrace everyone. The number 6 is Autism Awareness Month. Kimberly Jean is here again to accept. May I have a motion to approve? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. Mr. Lewis will read the proclamation. Oh, I'm sorry.
Whereas autism spectrum disorder affects at least 1 in 44 children and an unknown number of adults in the United States of all genders, races, ethnicities, and socioeconomic backgrounds, it is a reality that affects millions of families every day. And whereas our nation has made progress in supporting those with autism spectrum disorder, we are only beginning to understand the factors behind the challenges they face. Whereas we need to continue education and remember that children on the spectrum are still individuals who can run, swim, play, and exercise just like their typical counterparts. And whereas the town of Davie is committed to providing exceptional, inclusive aquatic programs, fitness programs, and recreation programs to individuals of all ages and abilities, and whereas each individual should have the opportunity to live full, independent lives and follow their talents wherever they lead. In April, we recognize those with autism who are achieving and breaking down barriers. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Town Council of the Town of Davie do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Autism Awareness Month.
Thank you. Very quickly, I just want to say thank you again for recognizing this month as Autism Awareness Month on behalf of all the families in Davie that don't know that they have this fantastic resource to get up here and speak to people, and on behalf of the 40% of autistic people that will remain nonverbal for their entire lives, I would like to say thank you on their behalf as well. So
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to the public hearing. I think that's the longest pre-meeting that we, it was good, a lot of information, a lot of great things happening. Okay, this is a public hearing. We'll start with number 20. Mr. Weinthal, will read the resolution by title, please?
Yes, Mayor. CDBG Action Plan Amendment. A resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending the Community Development Block Grant CDBG fiscal year 2021 through 2022 action plan, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak for or against this item? He comes forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any questions or concerns? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the action plan?
So
Motion
moved. Second?
We need a roll call.
Yes. Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Whitman,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton,
Yes.
Councilmember Starkey,
Yes.
Mayor Paul.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 21 is a variance. Has the quasi been waived?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Note that you got a memo. The item was revised, the address was corrected, so. Mr. Weinthal, would you read the title, please?
Yes, Mayor. A resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, taking final action on variance application V21-327 Bodner, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak for or against this item? Is the petitioner here? Okay. You want to say anything? Or? No, that's fine. Just be available if anybody has any questions. So I'll close the public hearing. Anybody have any questions?
No.
We're all okay? Would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, Mayor, that I think this is a fine
Yeah.
variance.
I'll take a second.
Okay, a roll call, please.
Councilmember Starkey,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
You say Lewis? I'm sorry. Yes.
Mayor Paul,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Whitman, I'm sorry, and Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
There you go.
All set.
Did you enjoy the meeting at least?
I didn't know there was a Davie Jazz Society on my Facebook, so
Oh, he's a jazz player.
I'm gonna,
He
What
said
is-
he's a musician, right? Didn't you just say you're a musician?
I am.
Yeah, he's a
Oh,
musician. He
See
didn't
you
know
at the
about
Jazz
Society.
Festival then. That'd be nice. What instrument do you play?
Bass.
All right, great. There we go. Okay, thank you very much. That closes the public hearing portion. Does anyone have any appointments?
No.
No?
Yes. Sitting here reading, I'd like to appoint Kendi Armis back on our planning and zoning board.
Okay. You're making that motion?
Yes, I'm making that
All
motion.
right, I'll second it. We have to have a roll call?
Yes.
Just a voice vote would be
Okay.
fine.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. New business. I've been representing, since Brian left, the town on the MPO, and I would like to step down from that. And I would like to make a recommendation that we ask Carol Hatton if she would be able to serve. Put your mic on.
I'm sorry. I'd be honored to serve, Mayor.
Okay. Oh, okay. Or a motion and a second?
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
There's a meeting coming up. We have a staff member
Yeah.
who has been assigned to work with you, who has been working with me. And I'm sure Brian will be happy to see you.
Yeah, I haven't seen him since he
Yeah.
left.
So you can,
Send him your regards.
okay. That's great, thank you.
One of the things I noticed, Mayor,
What?
on the MPO website, it's kind of interesting. They have a lot of good information out there for municipalities, and if the citizens themselves want to get involved, at the end of every month, they always have a citizen meeting as well. So if people want to bring things forward from their community about whatever's, transportation issues or road issues that they're interested in doing too, not only do they bring it to us, but they can also go to the citizens meeting. I thought that was a good opportunity for everyone.
Plus, the citizens are also able to speak as we do here. Each meeting has an open forum
That's good.
for speakers to come out and speak, or to write in and have questions answered. Okay, great. You've got your list of meetings, and then we'll go on to mayor and council member comments. I'm going to start tonight. And I've got a lot of things on here, so I know I'm going to go over my time, so,
Good, you're covering hours.
It's good to be queen.
Everyone has signed, I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting about Mayor Trost from Lighthouse Point passing away. Everyone has signed this card. I'll give it to Grace and have her send it for us. But I would also like to get approval from the council to send flowers
Yes.
on behalf of the town.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. A couple of days belated birthday, Carol.
Thank you very much. It's a big one.
We had a ribbon cutting at Carvel, and we had her celebratory Sunday for her
Swimmy.
birthday.
Swimmy.
So that was kind of fun. And this is interesting because I'm going to talk about maybe one of the first things that you could do with the MPO. We had a bike rodeo that the town worked with on the county. And I can remember, we haven't had one in a long time, and I can remember one of the ones that we had at Vista View involved the MPO, because, the bike lanes and so forth and so on, and bike safety is very important. But I think that the county dropped the ball. I know Michelle and Carol were there. And Susan, you came too, didn't you?
The
No?
bike rally this year?
Yeah,
No,
no,
I
you didn't make it.
Yeah.
So, and I think the year that the MPO was involved, the advertisement, the location, everything was phenomenal. So maybe one of your first things
Yeah,
that you
taking
could do is when you go to the MPO, you could get involved in next year's
Right.
bike rally by requesting that the MPO become involved in it again, because they really did a great job, because
Okay.
they had the county and the MPO working on it, and the town of Davie, and okay. All right, I've been in conversation as well as staff, basically Phil and Chad, to have a concert to support the Ukraine,
Yeah.
which is being organized by Steve Higgins. And I'd like council's blessing to add this to our post-hippity-hoppity stage.
Yeah.
They're thinking about 45 minutes to an hour of music, and the Ukrainian church from Cooper City will be on site. And so, just to make sure that everybody is up on it, that since we had the stage set up already, and it was a combination of Passover and Easter, that we could encourage individuals to come and support. Then maybe a lot of the people from Hippity Hoppity would stay for it as well.
Yeah.
So is there any objections?
None at all.
Okay, great, thank you. Is Chad here? Yeah, okay, you got it. Thank you.
He's got his thumb up.
Okay, HCA Hospital, I don't know, did you all get an invitation?
Yeah.
You did get it?
I believe so, yeah.
For Saturday?
Mhm.
Okay, just for those of you who didn't see it. HCA University Hospital is hosting a community celebration this Saturday at the hospital from 11 to 1, and they would be honored to have someone come out. I know some of us already have a commitment at Davie Elementary, but if anybody would like to go, Susan or Marlon, who might be interested. So that's at the hospital, in the lobby area, from 11 to 1. Okay, Susan, I'm going to ask you if you can go to something for us.
Oh, gosh. Let me check my schedule.
This is an event that's being put on by the school board, and it's a follow-up to the 2021-22 close-up rally to the Tally, where 150 students traveled to Tallahassee, and they had a legislative agenda. So I figured this was right up your alley. They're having a Broward Youth Policy Summit Expo, where they're going to present their legislative policy proposals and recommendations to improve their communities, and asking for input, from local electeds. And this is Friday, April 22nd, from 10 a.m. to noon, right here at Nova University. So if you look at your calendar.
Earth Day.
Yes.
Are we doing anything for Earth Day?
I haven't heard.
Water Management District, Water Management, are they doing a cleanup on Earth Day?
I don't know.
The only thing that we usually do is maybe, around a tree planting or at a school or something like that, but
What
I
time
haven't
would it
heard of
be?
anything. Osdell, did you?
Osdell? They're making a decision.
Argue over who.
What time would that be, Mayor?
It's from 10 to noon.
Okay,
I'll give this to you if you can go.
I'll try.
Well,
I'll let you,
Is this
I'll
on?
let Grace know.
Okay, good.
Good evening, Mayor,
Hi.
Vice Mayor, Council. Jose Lorrea, Public Works, Capital Projects Director. We don't have anything planned right now. We were talking to the group that issues the three-city USA designation, and what we're doing this year is we're actually working with Leona's team to put together a tree brochure for residents, providing information about how to provide proper tree care and things of that nature. So we actually
Oh, that's good.
coordinating that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Including the
You're
new
welcome.
legislation, incorporating the new legislation,
Right.
what they need to do, if it's a nuisance tree and so forth, all that should be included, whether they need a permit or not, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we won't be doing
No.
No.
Okay, now, Carol, got another one for you. This is right up your alley, too. This is on Thursday, April 21st at 8:30 in the morning at Nova University. But you would be a panel member to listen and provide feedback to the follow-up work that ESOL International student leaders from Broward County present to you. And this is also tied into the
I've been to that
rally
before.
to the tally. What?
I've been to some of that before, yeah. I know.
So you want to do that?
What time is it, the 21st?
April 21st at 8:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's all the information, and I've
We'll be there.
told Grace to,
Thank you.
okay. I just had to say something about this that I just found out about. If you'll remember when we did the March history, women history program, and there was a great deal of discussion about some of the women who had had cancer and how they were battling it and so forth. And then we also talked at that meeting, I believe, is Relay for Life. Bonnie Dale was present that night, and she was so moved by the things that she heard that she made a $5,000 donation to our Relay to Life team. And I just thought, I just thought it needed to be mentioned, and very, very sweet of her to do that. I love the new paint job on the arena. Looks great. Nice and bright. Nobody's going to miss it. That's the concert. And then I just want to mention, everybody's gotten their binder with the Trail Master Plan.
Yes, ma'am, here it is.
And yes, I am going through it, as you can imagine, with a fine-tooth
Looks
comb.
great.
I have a number of corrections, additions, and I have requested specifically from Mr. Lamack that it not be published, it remain a draft until I've completed, my run-through and discussion with staff on the corrections,
Mayor?
changes, additions. Yes,
Are these going to take the place of that flip chart,
Right.
which was really nice?
Right.
These are going to take the place, I like it, no, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's very good. Thank you.
and with that, I'll turn it over to the Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few items. Last week, our offices reopened fully to the public. For our residents or businesses, this means you do not need to make an appointment to conduct business with our team in person. This is a welcome addition as we try to return to normal operations. I want to congratulate our very own council member, Susan Starkey, for being awarded the 2022 Home Rule Hero Award. Thank you for always working on the behalf of not only your constituents, but the entire town. On Thursday, April 7th, the Davie Police Department is teaming up with the Special Olympics to host Tip a Cop event at Outback Steakhouse on University Drive from 6 to 9 p.m. The event helps to raise awareness for the Special Olympics of Florida. We are all settling nicely in our new offices across the way from here. It's quite a different atmosphere to which we are all adjusting to. And last but not least, wishing all the April babies a happy birthday. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember Lewis? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Councilmember Lewis? I'm making sure I don't forget you.
Thank you, Mayor. I am suffering really bad tonight from allergies.
Yeah, are we all?
I'm allergic to a cat that I love, and I was taking these pills. And I was feeling sleepy during the day. Then I read the thing, and it said they make you sleepy. So now I'm suffering, but I'm not sleepy. So my apologies. And you covered a lot of stuff. Quick reminder, April 16th is our egg hunt here at Bamford. And I'm not going to say a lot about it, but if you've never been, go. To look at some of these children that are out there is just, it's a wonderful event. I love going, the excitement on their face, and it's a really a wonderful time. So I encourage everyone just to go to enjoy and watch the children. It's a special, special morning. I also want to use this opportunity to warn our community about some reports of fraudulent red light camera violations. Apparently, other cities, Sunrise and Lauderhill, some of their residents received some fraudulent red light camera violations and asking them to pay these violations. For our residents, if you receive a violation and you're unsure if it is legitimate, please contact our police department at 954-693-8200 and request to speak to the red light camera office. So word to the wise on that. And as earlier we had read here in the proclamations about this being Autism Awareness Month, our police department has wrapped one of their SUVs this month supporting autism awareness, and all our staff is going to be dressed accordingly, wearing blue this Friday. So I thank everyone for their support on this program.
That was last Friday, all right.
Yeah. Thank
Very
you,
good.
Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Hatton?
Okay, I have a few things tonight. The first one, I'm going to report on a meeting that, as you're aware, I serve as the town's representative on the Broward County Solid Waste Municipal Delegates Meeting. Last Friday, April 1st, which is not an April Fool's joke, we had our most recent meeting where we received an update on the Solid Waste Working Group's efforts towards the formation of the Broward County Solid Waste District. Currently, the working group is preparing an interlocal agreement for the creation of an independent solid waste district that would coordinate solid waste and recycling disposal services. As currently proposed, this district would have a governing body representing each municipality in Broward County. The district would also have an executive committee similar in structure to the current working group and a technical advisory committee. The district would be managed by an executive director appointed by the governing board. Participating municipalities will have to adopt a flow control ordinance to ensure that all waste and recyclables are transported to the appropriate district facilities. Finally, district revenues would primarily be raised through a special assessment and tipping fees. The working group is preparing a final interlocal agreement for consideration by the municipalities and the county. Therefore, the district would prepare a master plan of operations moving forward that would have to be adopted by 80% of the governing board by population in Broward County. Therefore, the town will have two opportunities to determine if it wants to fully commit to the solid waste district at the interlocal agreement stage and upon adoption of the master plan of operations. This is just an information piece. The next time we move forward with something more solid, I'll bring it forward for you to see and to vote on. Secondly, my second thing is, Mr. Moss. Yes. I want to ask you if you would tell us what your daughter did. She's wearing those medals. I think she's there. I know she's a wonderful gymnast. But did she just win some new medals?
Yeah, there's a small presentation to come, so just stand by just a little bit.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't mean to rush it.
No problem.
That's fine. I'm just very excited for her. I know she's really, really wonderful. And that's all.
Thank you very much. Miss Hometown Hero.
Yeah, it's the legislators that do the heavy lifting, as you well know. They really do. One of the things we had fun doing is we opened up had a ribbon cutting for a business, and we do that often, but this one was Mr. and Mrs. Crab off of State Road 84. And I know we've had a lot of those little crab places being opened up where they had the little crab boils, but I have to tell you, I really enjoyed it, and I know the council did too that went, and the food was delicious. Kenny, the manager or owner, he's very, very delightful. They were just so pleasant. And there's another restaurant there, by C.J. Black, and then there's another one which is called Cilantro. So, you've got now 3 restaurants out there between Middle and West, which finally we got something going on out there that we can go and eat. It makes it nice, and I was glad to see the new businesses coming in because so many had left us. And yes, and then let's see, again, thanking Bonnie Dale for the check is amazing for the relay, and our Relay for Life is coming up. So if you're interested in participating, I was going to announce, please, contact our staff or us, and we will make sure that everyone's welcome to participate in the Relay for Life, and I hope our staff and residents will do so. It's at the Cooper City High School, as always, and it's on our website, I believe. One of the quick things I wanted to bring up is Evan Jenny has served as our representative for quite a while. And I'll tell you, every time I've gone up there and asked him for something, to work on something, whether we had a legislative appropriation, he was the first to carry the flag. So many things he has done for the town of Davie. I'd like to start accumulating that list together, and then maybe in June we could invite him to come, because his last day as a House of Representative would be in June. And I really have to tell you, I'm going to miss him, because as a senior member in the House of Representative, I could always go to him, even if it wasn't within his district, and I'd say, look, who do I have to see? I know you, and I know you're doing well with this issue on us, but who am I missing on this House that we can kind of persuade? And he goes, here's your list. I'll make the appointment for you. And he was that good and that sharp, so I really think it's appropriate that we give him the recognition sometime in June. I spoke to Leona. I know she was going to run it up the flagpole, so I decided to run it up this flagpole first. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Good
thank
idea.
you. Another exciting thing is the Broward Boys and Girls Club had their ranch roam, and we raised millions of dollars over the years for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Broward County. But one of the things I wanted to recognize them for is in their charity navigator, they got 4 stars, and that's the 11th year in a row, which means they're ranked out of all the charities that are around. So if people are interested in giving money, you want to see where your charity's rankings, or whether it's a legitimate organization, go to the Charity Navigator, cue that in, put in whatever you're looking at contributing to, and look at who gets the money and whether they get it more goes to the purpose than it does to their administration. So I was really pleased, again, support the boys and girls as many of us do, and I thought that was something good to announce. And lastly, the town, and through my excitement, is going forward with these QR codes to put them everywhere, on banners, on our signs, in our parks. The QR codes are going to be readily available for residents to just pull up and access information throughout the town. And I was so excited because our OWL project is going to also be on it with a little video that talks about the owl preserve that's up at Westridge and how they're how to take care of them, what they eat, all kinds of things. It's all being finalized for that too. And I know they've been working hard, IT and Leona and Suzette and their departments and staff on trying to get all that information together. So thank you for coming into this century and getting those QR codes that will be easy for access information for our residents and ourselves. And to that effect, I got a pleasant email today that we have a brand new baby out in the Westridge. Our owlet is born, and they sent me a picture, and I was so excited because we're really battling a lot of those invasive iguanas that are going into all of those burrows over there. And it was exciting to get that about a new baby. So.
Thank you. Moss, are you speaking for Mr. Lamack, or is he? Mr. Lamack, are you there? Yes, you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamack. Leona Henry, Intergovernmental Affairs Manager. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Administrators. I think the video says a lot, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead, we'll play the video, and if you have any other questions, I'll definitely come up, and we have Ms. Aria here in person as well, so thank you.
As congratulations. Are we on the way to the Olympics?
Mayor, if I may, thank you. First of all, thank Leona and thank to Suzette and Ariana for putting the video together. Now, I did all the shoddy camera work. I got to admit to that. All the effort and everything that goes into this, where's Denise? If you can stand up, Denise. This is Mom. This is where all the effort goes. This is every day. And Grandma Pam, please stand. Grandpa Dean, be recognized. And these are the folks that, help me out as much as possible. But this little girl has come so far, and I'm so proud of
Wow.
her. And she's done a whole lot. She came right from practice to come here, right from school to practice, so her day is pretty full, but we're definitely excited about her and what her future holds. And by the way, being here, she's never been in a full meeting to see everything. She's enamored by what you guys do. Full respect. I mean, she's been around town hall for 10 years now, but to see you guys in action, she really has a lot of good things to say about you.
That's sweet.
So, thank you. Thank you for the recognition. Appreciate it.
So
I'm
you didn't
excited.
answer my question. Are we going to
Well, my hope is she goes to the Olympics because I need all the money back. I can't. Right? No, we're hopeful. But she's
Follow
excited
your
and she's doing well.
dreams, right?
Yeah, follow your dream. That's right.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
I used to be a gymnast, too.
Beautiful.
Show you stand up. You recognize.
Oh, that's amazing.
Look at all those medals.
Your room must look amazing with trophies and medals, right? I knew it.
Beautiful. Congratulations. You should be very proud.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Give yourself a pat on the back for a good job. When we do Student of the Month, I always tell the kids to give themselves a pat on the back for a job well done, and to give your parents and your grandparents a big hug and a kiss, because without them, they're the ones that give you the little push and the ability to go on and do great things. That's very
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, gosh. Mr. Weinthal. Thank you. Oh, I forgot. I wasn't.
I cannot top that, so that's I think it's we can end on a high note there. I have nothing.
Oh, my goodness. Is there any objections? We're adjourned. Thank you.